So we
Right.
go
It
back to
is.
the
Thank you.
concert. The guy says, "Come meet." We're putting together a group
An
and stuff,
audition.
an
Yeah, he
audition.
said this.
And but
Go ahead.
okay, but prior to that, when you moved to the Bay Area, were you still singing in a church, in a choir? Were you still honing your talent? Were you getting spotlights?
I was honing my talent, but I wasn't getting any spotlights. Our little small town, it
Oh, in the
was
Bay Area.
probably no, no, no. So
Oh,
you're
no, when
saying
you
when
moved to
we moved to
yeah, when you moved to
California?
California, yeah, yeah. Were you
Nope,
still
I still
singing?
wasn't. No, I was still singing. I mean, that has never changed, but there was no one in the Bay Area to discover me. That's not the place where you get discovered, which
Yeah.
is why it is so shocking that a huge group like En Vogue came from the Bay Area. It was
Mm.
just, it was unheard of that someone was doing an audition there. I had never been to an audition before that audition.
Wow.
So it wasn't like, it was constant. Los Angeles, you hear about open calls and
Yeah, yeah,
auditions all the time. Every week there's a new audition, probably every other day, I would say,
yeah.
is a new audition for a movie, for a part in a play, for a girl group or a solo career. I mean, it's just all those opportunities are much more prevalent in Los Angeles, but not so much in the Bay Area.
Okay.
So for our producers to be doing, well, now they are producers, but for those guys, Denny and Tommy, Denzil Foster, Thomas McElroy, to be doing an audition in the Bay Area was just what? Like you don't hear about that.
Oh,
It
so who was
wasn't
the guy?
common.
Who was the guy who
It was the two guys that produced En Vogue. So Denzil Foster and
no,
McElroy.
who was the guy who saw you that brought you that?
Oh, his name is JR. He was just a friend of theirs, and he said, my
Okay.
friends are doing an audition, and he
Oh,
brought
his
me.
friends. Okay. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
now it's a nice Hollywood story, but I would be very skeptical of some guy saying, "Oh, my friends are doing this," and how do you know he wasn't trying to? How do you know he
I
was?
didn't know. I
Okay.
didn't. I mean, you got to take a chance at some point. You see
Yeah.
somebody that's, first of all, I told him I am not, because he said, you got to come to my place tomorrow so I can hear you sing and see if you actually have talent. I said, no, I refuse. I am not coming to your house to see. And no, in fact, I live with my parents. You can come to their house and hear me sing if you want. If you want to know if I have talent, that's where you have to come and
Okay.
find out. I am not coming to your place. And he came the next day. I'm sorry, 2 days later. And my parents were home, so I felt safe, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Um, and he heard me. I did "Caught Up in the Rapture" by Anita
I need
Baker. I
to
sang
pick a
that.
wow.
He
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, yeah, you got what it takes," you know. But and then about a week later was the actual audition. So I trusted him because how else do you know if you don't trust? And my
Yeah.
parents were there as well. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
done it without that.
So that audition then becomes when they're talking about an audition, I think I'm thinking about American Idols where 10,000 people are showing up singing for Simon, Randy, and Paula back in the day. What was the audition
Mhm.
for you when you went?
Yeah, the actual audition.
Yeah, yeah. What was that? Was it just that thousands of girls lining up to come in?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. The day that I went to the audition, I think they said Denny and Tommy said that they had about 16 girls total that had come out. But the day that we were at the audition was just the six of us. And I say six because it was Terry, Maxine, Cindy, myself, and then a girl. Actually, it was five. So Jordana, another girl named Jordana, who didn't make the group, but um, it wasn't a cattle call, what they call a cattle call audition. It wasn't that at all. Where you got like droves of women coming in all the time. It wasn't
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So, but I just think, wow, even in the four or the five of us that were there that day, for me to be chosen as one of the girls in the group, that's to me fascinating. It is just outstanding to me. I'm just amazing.
Were they always
I mean,
planning
it's
to have
amazing.
the four girls, or were they looking for five and then they just felt four would work, or what? Did they have a
No, they were looking for three. They were only looking for three.
Okay.
And Maxine and Jordana were roommates.
Okay.
And Jordana was getting ready for the audition, and Max was like, "Where are you going?" And she said, "I'm
Wow.
going to an audition." Yeah, but she didn't tell Maxine about it. Somebody else had called Maxine, a guy named Ken, and said, "Hey, there's an audition being held. Do you want to go?
Oh
I'll come
goodness.
take you." Yeah, but her own roommate did not tell her that there was an audition. So you see how dirty that was.
Wow.
Um, and she came to the audition, but Jordana had a very nasty attitude when she walked in. I'd say maybe about an hour after she got there. I met Cindy first. Cindy was first. I was second to get there, and then Maxine came in. Then Jordana came in separately from Maxine because she didn't even come with her. And about an hour into the audition, we were kind of sitting around and learning the background parts for the song we were going to audition to. And she said to the producer, "So y'all don't have no food? Where's the food? Like, y'all ain't gonna feed us? Where's the beer?"
Wow, wow, okay.
I was like, okay, she is not gonna make the group because she was just rude and very, very street. And you know, she was fun. We had a good time with her, but I just thought, wow, you don't walk into an audition and ask for beer. You don't walk into you don't walk into anybody's office or to their home and say, "Are you gonna feed us?" You know, that's wow, like wow.
She was inclusive though. She said us, so she wasn't just thinking about herself.
Don't put me in that.
she
Don't
said
put
us.
me in that. Do
She
not
said
put
us.
me in that. Don't say us. I no, I'll go get my own food because I'm like, these guys are nice enough to even have us in their studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm thinking, was there drama when Maxine shows up and says, "What's going on here?" and sees her?
No. They knew. Maxine said, "Well, Ken is going to take me." They talked at home before she left. She said, you know, she wasn't worried about going with Jordana. She came on her own.
Okay.
So she's like, whatever. It's like God saw fit that Maxine made it as well. Even though Jordana wasn't kind enough to say, "Hey, something's going on. I want you to go with me."
Yeah.
She undercut Maxine in a sense, and Maxine got there anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so that was a God moment.
So, so I guess the two questions that I do have then is did you then think, "I want to go solo, but I might as well, this is my chance to be in a group," or did you think, group, you know, it's maybe not for me long term, but I'll just go with it? What was the thinking, or was it like?
No, it was just an opportunity. It's like, you know, sometimes you may get a job that you weren't expecting.
Okay.
And they want to train you for something that you were not expecting. So I just thought, okay, I want to be a star. I want to be a celebrity. This is my chance to do this, and I don't have to be out there on my own. That's good.
Okay.
I was happy about that because, you know, you grow to have a certain kind of camaraderie between the people that you're in a group situation with. And in this case, it was 3 other girls. I was like, wow, this is perfect. I loved it. And the harmonies that we had the day of the audition told all of us, everybody in that room, it was magical. It was magical. So yeah, we had to be together. It didn't match so much with Jordana's vocals, so I don't know how much they actually had her on the record. But when we got in the studio, we clicked. Everything came together vocally, the 4 of us.
Now you mentioned that they initially wanted 3. So how did they? What changed their mind? How did they think, okay, we can't do 3. We need to go 4?
Well, again, once they heard our vocals together, they knew that if we only have 3 girls, once, for instance, if Maxine is singing lead on something, you only have 2 other girls there to sing 2-part harmony. It's not going to be 3-part harmony. So it doesn't sound the same. You have to have 3 parts in order for the harmony to work, or 4 parts or 5, but more than 2. And sometimes 2-part harmony is really nice. It just depends on the notes you're using. But typically, what they wanted their ears to hear would have been a 3-part harmony with 1 girl singing lead.
Yeah.
So it just worked out, and they were like, well, instead of having 3, they all look right together. They all sound good together. Let's go ahead and have the 4 girls.
Yeah. But then, so you guys then sort of click. Did they just come up with contracts that says sign here? And now, and the reason I ask this is that I've been over the past 4 or 5 months speaking to artists, and it's almost the same stories that we saw in the TLC documentary, saw in the New Edition and Bobby Brown stuff, and it's almost like eye-opening to us. But for you guys at the time, it was like, wow, we're just excited. We got an opportunity. Sign here. Were you able to get lawyers and parents to look through and like what's going on? Or
well, with a contract that big, it's like 24 pages. My parents wouldn't have known exactly what was going on. They looked at it, but they weren't in the music business. None of our family members could ever tell us exactly what we were getting into. They had no clue. It was nothing they'd ever seen before. we had never seen it before, so let alone our family members helping us through that. But we did go to Los Angeles. We got an attorney of our own. We hired Don Wilson, who was a Black attorney. A lot of times what happens with the attorneys that have a name in the industry, they're already tied and connected to the major labels. They're bought and sold by the majors. In other words, the attorneys know that they can't make an alliance with the artist that they're representing because they're going to bring another artist through those doors. So in other words, they can't go against Clive Davis because for the artist that they're representing, because they know that they're going to bring another artist to Clive Davis, and they have to make alliance with Clive. So they represent Clive or Jimmy Iovine or Sylvia Rohn in our case. And he wasn't really looking out for En Vogue as much. He told us some things were wrong with the contract, but his loyalty was more with the industry. So we really didn't have somebody that had our backs from the very beginning. And had we had someone that was not an attorney, an entertainment attorney that was not connected to the industry, we would have fared a lot better. And it's also that we had our producers, Denzil Foster, Thomas McElroy, had a manager named David Lombard. And they said to us, you guys should have him as your manager as well. And they were like, it's a conflict of interest, but you know, he's a good guy and he'll take care of you. And I was thinking, okay, well, if you guys say he's good, then he's good. And we all trusted that. But it was really a bad situation because when it comes time to renegotiate, if you're lucky enough to sell your first album, goes multi-platinum or platinum, and you tear up that old contract, you have to renegotiate for better terms than what you initially started with.
Yeah.
And David was not willing to represent either side. He couldn't represent Danny and Tommy or us. So there was no one there in our corner.
So, and I think
we had to go ahead and hire another attorney to represent that renegotiation. It's like, by then it's like, well, why are we rehiring David back?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind.
And somewhere in between.
For even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up? She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me.
No, okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas boys are winning all spirits.
Play it.
I mean, I love all different genres.